In a fast-paced world, services for everything from food delivery to transportation have revolutionized the way we get around and satisfy our cravings. But are these modern conveniences a financial pitfall for some? SchoolsFirst Federal Credit Union will help us understand the financial caveats of using these convenience apps. Let's welcome Membership Development Specialist for SchoolsFirst. We have Dejan Reeves. Hello again.
Hi, so happy to be here.
Yeah, so lots of folks use rideshare and food delivery services. How common is it for people to pay for these services?
Great question. So it's actually more common than you think. I actually even use it myself for my own convenience.
Yeah.
But most may even use it for their essential part of life. So that's something really important to think about.
Yeah, I was going to say I used the food delivery service yesterday, so I too am very guilty of this.
Very recent, okay.
So do we know how much money people are shelling out on these services every year?
Yeah, so I'm sure that this number is constantly fluctuating, but
Yeah.
there was actually a study done back in 2021 that showed the average expenditure annually for an American in the U.S. is $4,000, if not more.
Yikes.
So that
Okay.
if you think that all those extra fees aren't adding up, if you look at the course of a year, it truly is.
Okay, so these services, they often cost more than doing things the old school way, kind of getting some of the stuff ourselves. Why do people still go for them though, even if they're pricier?
Great question. So as I mentioned, it is for my convenience, but
Yeah.
for some, their time costs more. So they're willing to spend those extra dollars just to get their daily needs. And we're all so busy, right? Parents, caregivers, workers, you name it. So we may not always have enough time on our plate to sit down, cook a meal, or to drive somewhere,
Yeah.
right? As funny as it may seem. But something really important to consider is, right, for those, as I mentioned earlier, who have it as an essential part of their life, they really need that. They may not have access to public transportation or even a car, or they may not be able to go out and get their groceries. So sometimes they need that delivery service.
Yeah. And for those who've made these services, let's say more of a daily habit and want to cut back, what's your advice for kind of weaning themselves off of that?
Oh, that hit to the heart.
I know.
Okay. Well, going back, for me, it's a convenience, right? So
Yeah.
it's more of a want.
Yeah.
But for those who it is a need, they just keep budgeting that out, right? But
Yeah.
if it is a want, maybe really look at your spending habits, see where you want to scale it back a little. It may be time to part ways or even cut ties with these services and start putting those funds towards your future savings goals, towards retirement. Then you can take those steps, right? It will give you another reason to not just put it on the back burner.
Yes.
And then for those who need to wean off those services, right, a great suggestion is taking off your credit card information. It'll be a lot less easier for you to just place that order and go.
Yes, and delete the apps if you can. I
Yes.
was recently checking. I'm like, where's my money going? Oh, okay, to all those food delivery services. So I need to cut back a little bit.
Yes.
Dejan, can you share a bit about maybe your own personal experiences with convenience apps?
Yes, so I know we don't like to talk about it, but it did start back in 2020. You know, those habits, they built up on and on and on. It's like, why not place an order for food? Why not use a ride-sharing app? I mean, personally, I do probably use a ride-sharing app monthly when going out.
Yeah.
I go out of town for meetings, business trips, you name it. So it really helps. I'm not in an area I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Or sometimes if it's a long, busy week, it's like, I don't know what we're going to do for dinner. Let's place that food service.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. So as long as we're tracking it, cutting back a little bit when we can, it's always helpful. Thank you so much for these tips.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And you can visit one of the many SchoolsFirst Federal Credit Union branch locations as seen on the screen right there. And you can find out more online by going to schoolsfirstfcu.org.